Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like that you guide. Last week, before you adjourned the House, I did raise a critical matter regarding the bills that are before us to process, which are on the order paper for second and third reading. And the complaint that I raised at the time, Right Honourable Speaker, was that we were hurrying through the process. I even tabled here notices by the clerk to Parliament and the clerk to the committee, inviting very hastily stakeholders to come and give input to the UPDF amendment bill and, of course, the political parties amendment bill. Honourable Speaker, the stakeholders that were invited, most of them received those communications at 8 a.m., requiring them to be present before the committee at 9 a.m. Uganda Law Society received their letter at 11:50 a.m., and they were being required to appear at 12 noon, 10 minutes later. And yet that was the only day available for submission of views, memoranda, and so on and so forth. When I raised this issue before you, Right Honourable Speaker, you committed and said that I should not worry. The process is going to be given adequate time. After all, according to our rules, we've got 45 days within which to process these bills. That was your commitment, Honourable Speaker. You said, let me not worry. You're going to give adequate time to process these bills. And some of these stakeholders actually wrote back to the committee requesting for time on Monday, Tuesday, and so on. But as we went into the weekend, colleagues on the committees that were considering these bills were at a hotel considering the bill and writing their reports. In other words, disregarding the views of the different stakeholders. Honourable, I don't know if you want to allow information in my procedural point.
Can you finish on your procedural point?
Even though I know he had a very critical issue to beef it up. But like I was saying, Honourable Speaker, it appears as if there was a machination to look out the different stakeholders. And yet you committed, Right Honourable Speaker, that there's going to be adequate time. And I said, we are going to follow your guidance, which you gave here. But that did not happen. I don't want to think that the Speaker lied to us as the House. Or could it be that the committee disregarded your ruling? Because when you speak, when you're in that chair, you're giving guidance and ruling. You said the committees are going to avail adequate time. But the committees went into the weekend and they began to write their report. What happened, Right Honourable Speaker? Did the committee disregard the guidance that you gave? I would request that you help us on that matter.
Thank you. Honourable Lob, to the committee, and after forwarding to the committee, they are supposed to report back. And we give them 45 days, within the 45 days. Now, if the committee finishes work in one day, who am I to say that, why have you finished it today? And secondly, when the work is done, I apply Rule 26. I put this work on the order paper. I do not get involved in the committee work. Committee work is by the whips, government chief whip, opposition whip, independent whip, all those ones. Prime Minister, maybe you could answer why you have hurried with your work to bring in the House. Prime Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, some time back I told you I'm one of the best performing Prime Ministers. So if I can produce work in such a short time, I want the leader of opposition to appreciate. That's what I can.
Yes, Lob.
Honourable Speaker, it's very possible, by the way, that the Prime Minister does not even know the contents of the committee report. But she was very quick to rise up to defend.
Honourable
Speaker, I am on procedure. Legal Committee Chairman, Honourable Namuyango, I am on point of procedure. You're always absent here. You don't even know the rules.
Please.
Prime
Prime Minister. Prime
Order.
Minister. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Let's have calm. Let Law finish his statement.
Honorable Speaker, I would like that the Prime Minister ceases to get excited. Please don't get excited. This is a parliament of rules. And you have been here for quite a bit of time. I don't know why as Prime Minister you don't read the rules.
Honorable Law,
Who reads
can
the
you
rules?
raise your issue?
And I was raising it before the Prime Minister, who doesn't know the rules, rose up
No,
to
you
disorganize
raise
me.
your issue. Raise your issue.
Let me then raise it. Hopefully the Prime Minister will be calm and quiet. Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted by the Prime Minister, I had expected, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee chairperson to help us, and because when you gave that guidance, that there's going to be adequate time, for me, I took that to be guidance for the committee. So I don't know why they hurried and locked out.
No, let's hear from the chair of the committee. Chair committee.
Perhaps.
Chair committee. There is one house.
Right Honorable, Parliament has 45 days within which to process a bill referred to it.
Yes.
That simply means that within 45 days you should be able to present the work. If that work is presented within a week, you have not offended any rule. If the work is presented within a day, you should be thanked for being efficient. And that's what we have exactly done. The bill is ready, we considered it, and we are ready to report to the House.
Next item.
Mr. Speaker, this is very critical. I do understand that a committee can process a bill even in 1 hour. Forget about one entire day. But you see, that is in the event when there are no interested people as stakeholders to give input. Because you see, our law passing process is supposed to be consultative.
Can we look at that
Right,
when we
Honorable
reach to the
Speaker.
bill?
But that's all right. Let me finish this, Right, Honorable Speaker, and then you'll guide. So the reason I have insisted on this matter is because there were stakeholders who were saying we want to give our input. And you locked them out. That's the challenge. You can produce and process a bill in even 1 hour.
As of now, we don't even know which stakeholder they interacted with.
I am a stakeholder, Right, Honorable Speaker.
So what we need to do is to wait and hear which stakeholders they consulted.
Allow me to finish and then you rule, Right, Honorable Speaker. Stakeholder, my political party received the invitation at 8 a.m. saying come at 9 a.m. That's the National Unity Platform. We wrote to the committee and they received the letter requesting that this was very short notice. There's no magic we could do.
That is
and requested for Monday
that is on which bill
at 9 a.m.
Which bill now are we talking
on the UPDF amendment bill.
Okay, let's first start with the
allow me to
bill.
finish, Right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Lord.
The committee received our letter. They did not write back to us. So as we were waiting to show up on Monday to present our views, over the weekend they were busy processing, writing a report. That's problematic, Right, Honorable Speaker, because you see, we are supposed to be a people-centered parliament, meaning that the laws we pass, we should be for the good of the people. Those people should be consulted so that they have their input. And by the way, you can end up disregarding the input of those stakeholders, but listen to them. You cannot disregard them and think it's okay. No, listen to them, and then you can disregard them. But when you don't give them opportunity to show up, you are violating our laws. Right, Honorable Speaker, finally, I was alarmed because you see, we seem to be creating and painting an atmosphere that regardless of what the views that come through are, this bill is finito. I saw with sadness the government chief whip late in the night. He was speaking to the media. He said, we have met and concluded that this bill is going to be passed as is. That worried me because the government chief whip, who is our colleague here, knows that this bill, the UPDF amendment bill, was brought to this house by government. I had thought that as government chief whip, you would be interested in a bill that you have brought.
What is the procedure you
I am raising it, I'm building it, Right Honorable Speaker. I had thought that as government chief whip, you would be interested in input of different stakeholders into your bill as government. But when you bring a bill, and then you say, we are going to pass it as is, regardless of any other input, regardless whether consultations have happened or not, that is problematic. That is outside. Speaker, my colleagues, and I want to appreciate them, they met through the night to even put together a minority report. But what you are saying is that that is disregarded. Right Honorable Speaker,
Give me the minority.
procedurally,
Where is the minority?
is it all right that we sit here and pretend that we are processing a bill within the law, that we are capturing the views of all the other people, and yet not? Because we gave you the benefit of doubt to say, okay, let's partake in this process. But you have abused that because you're saying, we don't care. And at night, the government chief whip says, regardless, we are passing it as it is. So why did you invite people? Maybe that's why you didn't even give them time.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, finally, I am very hard-pressed, together with my colleagues, for us to sit here and participate in a sham process. And I'm calling it a sham process because it is pretentious. When you bring a bill here, you should give it time for people to have their input. But you are saying, we don't want your input, we are going to pass the bill as is. That's why, Right Honorable Speaker, you did not rein in on the committee to give adequate time to the stakeholders. That means this is pretentious, this is a sham for these two bills, the UPDF amendment bill and the political parties amendment bill. So, Right Honorable Speaker, myself together with my colleagues, we are hard pressed to participate in this sham process. So we shall leave you here to participate in your sham process, to process your bill, pretending that you are getting the input of the people of Uganda and yet not. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will take my leave because I don't want to participate in this sham process. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. Honorable members, next item.
Item 4. Item 4 on the order paper.
Honorable members, you recall that on Wednesday, 14th May 2025, Honorable Nakut Faith tabled the private members' bill, the political parties amendment
Procedure.
bill 2025
Procedure.
for the first reading.
Procedure.
Yes, Jonah. Honorable members, can we have free sitting? Can we have free sitting? Justice, Shadow Justice.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, about
Honorable members, listen to Honorable Dur.
Madam Speaker, about
colleague has a minority report. Why did you first present his minority report and then you move out? You have left him alone. Why?
This battle has many facets. What you see being played out was agreed that it will move that way. So I think he wants to put that on record. He will also be joining us after.
Moses had come to Parliament now for 4 years. The way he has to vote, let them vote their foolishness. The only issue we have to handle is the statement put on the floor by the head of the president. Said, now, I talked to this chairman of the committee. He on Friday said, come on Monday, present your issues. Then the other paper came out on Saturday. The other paper came out on Saturday, the report was done on Sunday.
They would have given us enough time to go and concern.
Yes, you cannot move that form, omnibus.
It's the right thing we have done, Alice.
Yeah.
So the issue is we have done the right thing as opposition to work. We should deny them the number. I know we should do it, but the right thing we are supposed to do as opposition is good now that we have walked out of the house. Thank you very much.
As put it clear by the leader of opposition, as put it clear on the floor of opposition, we are saying we are not legitimizing the process. When you look at Article 92, we as Parliament of Uganda, we are not supposed to legislate over a matter that has already been ruled by the judiciary. This matter of civilians getting involved as far as court martials are concerned, it has already been ruled. And it was the Supreme Court. So it's really not fair to see that again as Parliament, we start legislation over a matter that is already concluded by judiciary. So we are saying no. And that's our stand as the opposition of this country. Tekitiibwa kya kitiibwa Parliamenti ya Uganda okubanga tuyisa olugwayo mu judiciary. Supreme Court yasalawo dda engeri gyegenda okubanga esalawo era ku nsonga zino. Naye ne article eya 92 tetukkiriza ffe nga Parliament okubanga tutandika okuteekawo amateeka nga Supreme Court yamaze dda. Supreme Court yasalawo dda nti ba civilians tebalina kutewalibwa mu kkooti z'amagye. Kati ate ffe mu tteeka lye limu lye lireeteddwa tubenga ba civilians tubatwala mu magye mu kkooti z'amagye. Tekiba kya bwenkanya kutandika kukola tteeka, naye ffe ekitufulumizza tetuba feya kubanga tetukkiriziganya na bigenda mu maaso n'ate ne tutuulaawo tubirabe nga bitambula.
Why the consultation is, this has not been honored. And from the look of things, the ruling party, after they had a caucus yesterday, they are hell-bent on approving anything and everything without any regard to some of these hitches and flaws that we have pointed out through the leader of the opposition. So the leader of the opposition, as head of our political divide, has made his case properly, and anything that goes contrary to what he has raised may culminate